All right, Mason Massey. I guess just introduce yourself to the fans, who you are, how you started racing, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so my name's Mason Massey. Been racing since I was little, 5 years old. I was that age racing quarter midgets and bandoleros, legend cars, just kind of working my way up. And I was in the late models eventually when I was about 15, I think. Was able to race for Bill Elliott, which is really cool for that year. And was able to win a lot of races, learn a lot of stuff from Chase. And it was a cool year for me. So after that, we started our own late model team. Did that for 1 year, then just got way too expensive. So actually went dirt track racing after that. And just a lot of fun. I still do some dirt stuff every now and then. And I was able to have an opportunity in the truck series when I was about 22. So just kind of had that and just kind of worked up from there. Had a really good first race, had a good finish. And so I was able to kind of get some eyes on me and just kind of work my way up from there.
So like since a very young age, you've always wanted to race cars.
It's all I've ever done, really, man. I haven't ever played other sports, haven't done anything else. I've always worked on race cars, been at the racetrack, and it's my passion and it's my career now, which is really cool. So it was a long journey. It was a hard journey, and I still have a long way to go, obviously, but we're getting there.
What's it like going fast? What's that feeling like?
It's a cool feeling. I remember when I got on a 1.5 miles for the first time, and it was unbelievable. It was a really cool experience. The speed and just everything, the side drafting in the races, the air, how all that works. It was way different than anything else I've ever done, and it was really cool. Then as you get to like the Talladegas and all that stuff, the really big tracks, that's when it was really cool. And you hitting over 200 miles an hour out there, it's a thrill for sure, and it's unlike anything I've ever done.
What's the like? I mean, I'm sure you've tipped out at a number and you remember it. What's the fastest you've ever gone in a
car? Last year at Daytona, I think I hit 202, and I remember hearing that, and I was like, "Man, that's insane." Some fast speeds, but as you're out there racing, you don't even think about that. You don't even realize it really. But like, I was able to look back at the race, and I was like, "That's pretty quick, 202. It's fast."
What's the fastest you ever gone, like off the track?
Off the track.
I'm not a cop, Mason. I'm not a cop.
I drive like a grandpa most of the time, man. I'm just kind of following the rules, all the stoplights, all the stop signs. I follow everything. Every now and then I'll have a buddy that has a fast car, has a Hellcat or something like that, and I'll get in it and we'll go pretty fast. But I'd say for the most part, I'm a really safe driver and I like to follow the rules on the road.
Do you use your turn signal?
I do when I remember to. It's probably 80% of the
time. Did you pass your driver's test on the first try?
I passed it, but forgot to put my seatbelt on. She took off for driving with 2 feet. I can't drive with 1 foot. I can't do it. I got to use 2 feet. And also, I think I ran a stop sign. So I think I had like an 82, and you had to have an 80 to pass. So I barely got it. At the end, I told her I was a race car driver, and we had a long conversation about that. So I think she might have cut me a break on my score there. I'm like, I can't fail this test. Please help me
out. If fans could control one thing for you on race day, what would it be?
One thing. Like in
anything that you don't like to do. Like, let's just say like, oh man, I got to do that again today. Like if fans could just control that for you and you're like, I take that out of my hands.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe, man, it's always hard to figure out what to eat. I'm really indecisive on race days because, like, I see this and I see that, and you have to kind of watch what you eat before the race. It's always a pain in the butt trying to think about that. And, like, I don't really mind doing appearances on race days, but if I didn't have to do it, I'd be okay with that too. I like doing appearances though and hanging out with fans. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if a fan could just decide what I ate, it'd be great because that's one less thing I had to think about on race days.
Have you ever peed in the suit in the car?
I haven't ever done that. I know people who have. I can't relax enough to do it, and even if I could, I don't think I would. I wouldn't want to put that on my guys when we get back to the shop and have to make them do all that stuff to get it out. So haven't ever done that. Thank God.
I'm telling you,
I really had to, but I'm like, I'm just gonna hold it.
You've held it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're good on a road trip.
I guess so, man. Yeah. And also it gets so hot, you mostly kind of get it all out anyways with sweat and stuff. So
you guys, I had no idea how many calories you guys lose during a race.
I always burn around 2,500 or so, I would say, every race.
That is
lose about 8 pounds. It's all water weight though, so you gain it back in a couple of days. But yeah, it's really hot and really big on a bunch of cardio too to get the heart. You want to get your heart rate up every day just to get used to it, and I always try to run or do whatever I can to do that.
Wow, man. No idea. This is a giant learning curve for me, man. Giant learning curve.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe so can you describe your driving style in 3 words?
3 words. Awesome racecraft, I guess. I'm not the 1-lap speed guy. I'm not going to go out and set a track record, but if you put me in a race, I can pick apart most guys. I'm really confident. I'm not the qualifying guy. I'm not the guy, like I said, to go out there and just lay down a lap. But in the race, I've been doing it for so long. You learn how to find the weaknesses of other drivers and how to take advantage of that. And I feel like I've gotten really good at doing that. You're
a strategist.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a major thinker inside the race car for sure. And a lot of times that could be a bad thing, I guess. You could overthink, but I'm always got something going on up here in the race.
I love it, man. I love it. The mental part of it. That's what people don't really get, right? Would you say right. What would you say the biggest misconception is that people, don't understand about what you do?
I think they think that you're going really fast in a circle. That's what it is. But in all reality, there's a lot that goes into it, man. Like the side drafting, like I talked about earlier, regular drafting and learning how the air works when you have a guy on your outside. If a guy's on your outside getting off in the corner, it'll make you super loose on the inside because he takes all the air off the right side door. And little things like that, the pit stops, it's actually really hard. It's a craft you have to learn. And restarts are tough. It's just every aspect of it, the physical part of it. Like you said, you didn't have a big understanding on that. And honestly, a lot of people don't. Yeah. So physical, it's a big thing for sure. And just all the little details, like any other sport, all the little details that go into it that you have to learn over time, and you have to work hard at it.
Does it really piss you off when people say drivers aren't athletes?
It don't really, because how are they supposed to know? You can't just go hop in a race car and just, if you have a football, you can throw a football around and stuff, but you can't just go hop in a race car most of the time. So it's just something you have to feel it for yourself. Because I majorly underestimated it when I first got in the sport. And then after a few races, I'm like, man, this is really hard physically. So it was something I had to work at. But yeah, I don't think anything of it when someone says that, because they just don't know,
Man, that is wild. That is wild. Okay. Would you let a fan ride shotgun if that was allowed? If that was legal in that, would you let a fan ride shotgun?
If it was allowed, I would. I wouldn't go 100%. I don't want to hurt anybody, but if they wanted to go for a ride, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Okay. I took my sister in a dirt car. She got in a dirt car with me, and it was a lot of fun for her. She really liked that. So
that's awesome, man. I love that. Have you ever sneezed during a race?
I have. It's not a good thing. It's you look down for a second and you don't know where you're going to be when you look back up. You're hoping you're still going straight, but I've had that happen. And I've always had really bad allergies this time of year, especially. And so like this time of year, man, I'll probably do it 4 or 5 times a race.
Wow.
So it's something you got to get used to for sure.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm scared. I mean, I'm scared to sneeze while I'm driving at 30 miles an hour. I can't imagine at 200, man. That is wild. Yeah.
No. Yeah. It can get kind of sketchy.
Yeah. If a fan were your crew chief, what's your best piece of advice to that fan?
Best piece of advice. I think the most important thing is you have to make the right adjustments. And as a fan, I don't know if they would know how to do that, but honestly, really good piece of advice is I'd say just keep me calm throughout the race. Anything you got to do, because there's always a lot of points in the race where you get kind of fired up behind the wheel and stuff. And I always like when the crew chiefs able to keep me calm and keep me focused. And I've had a lot of guys I've worked with that really do a great job with that. And so I would say if a fan was doing that's probably the most important thing.
So like like, are you a golfer? Almost like a caddy, like how a caddy has to kind of calm his golfer down a little bit. Yeah. I'm
a golfer. So yeah, that's exactly right. That's a good one. Yep.
You ever make your way out to California, man? Let's hit the links. It's the only sport I can still play. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm always there.
If you got pulled over for speeding and the cop said you can get out of the ticket, but you have to beat him in a race, would you take that challenge?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I do it every time.
I love it.
I drove a Chevy Colorado, but I still think I could beat him.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how bad is your road rage?
On the actual road, probably like 5. I don't know. I'm kind of right in the middle.
Okay.
If there's a lot of people out there that I don't think should have a driver's license, honestly. And so that'll kind of make you mad every now and then, but you don't want to mess with people nowadays because you never know what they're going to do. So I always just kind of say something to myself about it.
Go on.
Move on from there. Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve that normal drivers do? If I was you, I would call us normals, like normal drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. When they pull out right in front of you and end up going like 30 and a 45. That's the thing I hate the most. They pull out right in front of you, you slam your brakes, and then they're just on a Sunday drive in front of you the whole time. So it's like, man, it's like, why were you forcing the issue anyway?
Slow driving. I get it. How many speeding tickets do you have?
I don't have any. I don't have any at all. Got kind of lucky a couple times. I had a guy let me go, and then had something else happen the other time. But yeah, I have never got a ticket before.
You save your speed for the track.
I do, man.
Yeah.
Do you think all out on the racetrack?
Do you think that minivans should have their own car racing circuit? I think
that'd be really cool. that'd be awesome. I've actually thought about that before. Yeah, like why is there not a minivan series out here?
I mean, you've got truck, you've got car, right? I mean, SUV, I
I would
guess,
watch
but that's more of like a Jeep, like they got the off-road thing. Minivans need a
Yeah.
circuit, Mason.
I agree. I would definitely watch it. I would tune in for that.
Put a whole
I think a
family
lot
in
of
the
people-
back.
Yeah, have the stickers on the back that have like the family, like how many people are in the vehicle.
That is good. I like that. I like that. Let's see. What's your no. Okay. Are you good at parallel parking?
I'm not very good at it. I can do it, but I need some space. I need some time, and I can work my way in there eventually. If you give me a few seconds to do it, I won't be able to do it, but I can work it in there after a few seconds for sure.
I mean, I think the easy answer is they don't pay you to park, but
No, heck no. No, the closest thing we do to that is probably pit stops, but I'm always missing my sign anyway getting in there, so it is what it is.
Let's see. What's a better celebratory alcohol to spray? Champagne or beer?
Oh man. I guess it depends where you are. Like if you're racing in the South, you probably want some beer flying around, I'd say, because that's what everybody likes down here. And if you're out where you are, maybe some champagne.
Okay.
I think that'd be nice out there in Cali.
Okay. When did you? Oh no, we already talked about that. Okay. Who do you think the greatest driver of all time is?
Of all time, has to be Larson, man. Kyle Larson, I would say. I think just in all aspects of series of racing, I think he's the best that I've seen for sure.
Wow.
Whether it's on asphalt or dirt or on road courses, whatever it is, he's always winning. So I have to go with Larson.
Okay.
On that.
All right. Let's see. Do you think you'd make a good pizza delivery driver?
I think I would. Probably would get a lot of tickets if I was doing that. I would say got to work hard for those tips. Got to get there pretty fast. Besides the tickets, I think I would do a great job.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Better movie, Days of Thunder or Talladega Nights?
Gotta say Talladega Nights, man. It makes me laugh. Really like comedies, so I'm gonna have to go with that. Yeah.
So somebody puts a Bobcat in your car, you feel pretty confident you can still drive with that in there?
Yeah, I mean, if they did that, I would still have my helmet, my fire suit, and everything on. So it'd be hard for him to hurt me, I think. But he would eventually, probably. But it wouldn't be no big deal. I can still drive.
I like it. I like your confidence, man. I like your confidence. Dick Trickle or Cole Trickle?
I have to go with Dick, man. He's a legend. He's a legend for sure.
Every person I've asked so far has said like Dick Trickle, absolute legend.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Dick Trickle on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You think Richard Petty's record will ever be broken?
Talking about the wins in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
I don't think it will. It'll be hard because back then when he was doing that, they were actually racing weeknights and weekends and stuff, racing a bunch. And so I think it'd be very, very hard to break that nowadays.
Okay. Can you describe like what going that fast feels like in one sentence?
One sentence. I would say just unlike anything else, because it is unlike anything else. I haven't ever done anything that compares to it. Like I said, when you're out there, you're not even thinking about the speed really. You're just focused on the race and what you're doing. But when you realize you're going that fast is the wrecks. When you start to wreck and have pileups of stuff, start to spin, like you realize like really how fast you're going in that moment. And it's just unlike anything, man. It really is.
Everybody, same kind of answer from some of the other guys is like, you don't realize you're going that fast until you wreck.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing I learned, because I remember the first time I wrecked on a 1.5 miles, it was unbelievable. Just like as you're spinning out in the infield, like you realize right there, like we're actually going really fast here. You don't even understand that when you're racing, but yeah.
And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
You're out of control, so you just take your hands off the wheel and just ride it out, I guess.
Do you sleep well at night?
I don't. I don't. I'm only getting about 5.5, 6 hours these days, but that's all I need, I guess. We're good.
So what was that first wreck like? I mean, at whatever level it is, it's got to kind of be like, you have to accept that as part of this career, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, when you get in the car, that anything can happen. You can have a bad wreck and stuff like that. And but nowadays the cars, I feel like they're super safe. I never gotten hurt in them. I always feel like the seats and the seat belts and everything is always really good. And so I just have a lot of confidence in the safety of the cars. And you don't even think about that in the heat of the battle. You really don't. And it's just afterwards you're hurting a little bit, you're sore, but it's all I've ever done, like I said. So it just is what it is.
It's awesome, man. I mean, it takes a different kind of person. It's special. It's special. Were you ever, or are you any good at racing video games? Like, are you a stud Mario Kart player? Can anybody beat you in racing video games?
Yeah, I can be beat for sure. I do a bunch of iRacing. iRacing is really fun, like the simulator stuff and all that. I use that to get ready for races and the tracks we're going to and everything. But race on there with a bunch of random people, and I get beat a lot of the time. There's some really good guys on iRacing, so it's a lot of fun, and it's a good thing to use to get yourself ready for the weekend ahead.
Okay. You're the first guy to talk about using the sim a lot, that you like to do that. So
yeah.
I mean, I was always the kid in the arcade that wrecked in Cruising USA just nonstop. I just, never. Yeah.
I mean, I wreck a lot on iRacing, but hey,
you don't have to pay when you wreck in iRacing.
Keep going. Yeah.
If you could have a quick snack at a pit stop, what would it be?
It's probably like a peanut butter protein bar or something like that. Peanut butter jelly or something. Something just light and easy. You don't want to have anything too heavy in there. So
no ribs. No
ribs, unfortunately. It'd be cool to have some ribs in the car with you, but I don't think it works out too well. So yeah, I'd say the perfect thing is like a protein bar. A little bit of protein, get some energy in. You're all set.
I'm telling you, of all these, the funniest thing I've heard so far is it'd be pretty cool to have ribs in the car with you. That's really funny, man. That's good.
Awesome. I like ribs.
Hell yeah. What's the best barbecue place you've ever been to?
Probably Heart 8 Barbecue. Every time we go to Texas, we go to that place. It's over by the racetrack over there. And it's probably the best I've ever had for sure. Wow. It's really good.
Texas does it. Okay, if you had a car radio, if there was a radio in the car, what music are you listening to during a race?
Probably put on some hard rock or some rap or something just to get me going and get me fired up.
What kind of rap are we listening to?
Little Baby or Drake or something like that. Anybody that has the flows and the bars to get me rolling. So, I would say some country stuff, but that kind of mellows me out a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go with the hard rap and hard rock and stuff like that.
You think you could text and drive during a race?
I could do it under caution, I think, pretty easily. And I'd say probably Talladega with the long straightaways. I could probably shoot a text out on the front stretch, but I think besides that, probably not.
That's a really good answer, man. That's a really good answer. What's like the single most difficult thing about driving a race car? Single most difficult.
I'd say just the mental aspect of it. Like, you obviously have to have the skill and all that to make it to this level. But I think where you're able to really beat everybody is your mentality. Just being able to build your mental up. And if you make a mistake, just forget about it and move on. Have a really short memory. It's like when you play golf, you hit a bad shot, you move on. And I'd say just the mental. A lot of tracks we go to is really hard on you mentally because you see, like if we go to Dover, that's a really hard place, and you have to lock in for 3 hours, and you have no breaks at that place. And I'd say being able to master everything about your mind and being able to control it is the most important thing.
I mean, again, it's kind of an eye-opening interview. You're really the only guy to really talk about the mental aspect of this whole thing. And the way you just said it there, I mean, dude, a 3-hour road trip, I'm zoning out for a lot of it, right? Like listening to a podcast, just staring straight, but you're going 200 miles an hour for 3 straight hours. You cannot you don't have even a split second to mess around at all.
If you look around for a second, you can wreck just like that. So it's really hard. You really have to stay locked in, especially on like the super speedways. Everybody's all right there together, like at Talladega and stuff like that. I mean, you're this far from each other. And so if you drift off for 1 second, it could be half the field in a wreck. So
how many times in a race do you think you actually like either, I mean, I know the famous line in Days of Thunder is like rubbing is racing, but how many times in a race do you think you actually like bump or touch or hit another car?
I'd say a handful of times, like on restarts, you're kind of bumping each other, trying to help everybody get going and push the guy in front of you. I'd say on the short tracks, it's a lot. Everybody kind of stacks up in the corners, so it's kind of like bumper cars in the corners, like at Martinsville and stuff. I don't know if you ever watched the race there, but like in the corners, everybody's just kind of doing this. And it's just part of it. But on the bigger tracks, it's a lot less because it's a lot more dangerous, obviously. You don't want to hurt anybody. So it's a handful of times for sure every weekend.
Man. Do you name your cars?
I actually don't. I actually don't. I know a lot of people who do. I just haven't ever thought to do that, really. I don't know.
I never
Maybe
did.
I should.
Maybe
I should start doing that.
Yeah. You remember that movie Gone in 60 Seconds where Nicolas Cage, he's all the cars are named after the women?
Yeah.
That's a good movie. It's a solid movie. It's a
great movie.
If NASCAR forced you to use turn signals, would you still do it?
I wouldn't, because you don't want to. I mean, you don't want everybody else to see your next move, so you got to keep it a secret.
Do you think that everybody would just have their turn signals on all the time?
I would just have my flashers on the whole time just to be distracting everybody. They would never know where I'm going. I think I would just do flashers. Yeah.
Do you like driving during the day or driving at night?
I like night races. That's really cool. I just like how the lights look on the cars and on the racetrack and everything. And on the TV, especially watching a night race is really cool too. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go with that. Yeah.
Right on. What, the guy gets on the loudspeaker. He screams, "Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine." You hit the toggle. What is that feeling like? That car starts rumbling. What is that feeling?
For me, that's when I finally get to lock in. Like I said, on race days, you're doing appearances, walking around talking to a bunch of people. So I don't actually get to lock in really till I fire the car up and the pace laps and everything. So that's when I kind of just say, all right, this is about to happen. We're about to do this. Let me get my mind right. Let me get everything right here. Then we're going racing. I'd say that's when the flip switches.
What can you do your best imitation of what a race car sounds like?
So what kind of car are we talking here?
Your race car.
NASCAR.
Yeah, Xfinity, NASCAR, one of them. Cup car.
Do I need to shift gears too?
Sure, you can shift. Sure.
All right. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's what it sounds like to me in the car. So
it's good. It's good.
That's all I have to go off of.
Yeah. Okay. We got a couple more questions. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Do you smack talk your fellow drivers during the race? Like, do you or after the race, before the race? Do you have any rivalries you like to get into?
I'd say I talk the most to my friends. We talk a bunch to each other, a bunch of crap. It just makes it fun. I mean, it's nothing like I'm not ever being egregious with it or anything to anybody, but it's like any other sport. You like to talk, and me and my buddies, if I beat my buddy, I like to talk to him about it. I'll give him a bunch of crap all week after that, and it's a fun thing back and forth.
I love it.
So yeah.
Did the movie Cars influence your career? Did Lightning McQueen have an impact on you?
I was already racing, so I saw that like as a little kid, and I thought it was really cool. I mean, I'd say it probably got me pretty excited about racing watching that. It was a great movie, man. I remember watching that when I was younger. It was awesome.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
All right. One last message to fans on why they should choose you to drive. Where it's the number 8 car on November 4th in Phoenix. Why Mason Massey?
I think I'm a really hard worker. I have a good personality. I feel like I'm a lot of fun to be around. I mean, everything I do 100%. And I can get around Phoenix pretty well. It's a pretty good track for me. And so let's say we have a good finish. I'm going to say I would probably finish 15th to 22nd.
Okay.
So we'd be up there in those teams. Okay. So if you vote me in, it'll be a good run. Might not be the best qualifying run, but it'll be a good race. So
I like that. It might not be the best qualifying,
but
it'll be a great race.
We'll be there when it matters.
That's all I need, Mason. That's all we need. Download the fan-controlled Control app and start voting now. This is Fan Controlled Racing.